So um, now we will move to our next topic, which is device drivers and antivirus. So let's discuss the role of drivers and antiviruses, because device drivers and antiviruses softwares, they are two indispensable components in your computer system, which allows the smooth functioning and security of your computer system. So device drivers serves as the intermediary between the operating system and the hardware devices, ensuring their compatibility and proper operation. So by providing the necessary instructions for the operating system uh, to communicate with the hardware component, device drivers enables seamless interaction and optimal performance. On the other hand, antivirus softwares act as a vigilant guardian. So these antiviruses protect the systems from the malicious software such as malware, viruses, and ransomware. So by regularly scanning files, detecting potential threats, and taking the appropriate actions, antivirus software helps maintain a secure and reliable computing environment. So let's discuss a bit more about the device drivers. So device drivers, they are a specialized software, and basically they act as a translator, so converting like a complex operating system instructions into the specific language understood by the hardware. So this translation processes ensures that the hardware can respond appropriately to the commands from the operating system, enable devices to function as intended. So without the device drivers, essentially components such as printers, such as your keyboard, your mic, your graphical card, and some network adapter would be rendered inoperably, severely limiting the functionality of the computing system. So device drivers, without having drivers, so the devices, your hardware devices, they would be unable to communicate with the operating system, preventing them from performing their intended task. So if we take an example, so for example, a printer without a device driver would be unable to receive some print job from the computer systems. Therefore, device drivers are essentially a very important and useful component of any computer system. So they play a vital role in ensuring that the compatibility and the proper functioning of the hardware devices, allowing user to leverage the full capabilities of their equipment. So device drivers plays a crucial role in proper functioning of the hardware devices by performing the functionalities. So we have different types of device drivers. So some device drivers detects and identify the specific hardware devices that are connected to the system. Device drivers also act as a resource allocator. They allocate necessarily system resources such as memory and interrupt lines for the device to operate. So device drivers configures the devices according to the operating system requirements and user preferences. So we have also input and output operations. So device drivers basically handles the transfer of data between hardware devices and the operating system. They translate the data between the device specific format and the operating system standard format. Device driver may use buffers to temporarily store data, optimize the data transfer efficiency. Sometimes the device drivers monitors the devices for errors or abnormal behavior. They report the errors to operating systems or application, providing information for troubleshooting. So in some cases, a device driver may also attempt to recover from errors or take corrective actions. So the types of device driver, there are two categories: kernel mode drivers and user mode drivers. So kernel mode drivers execute directly within the operating system kernel, granting them privileged access to the system resources. They handle critical system functionalities such as managing the hardware devices, interacting with the low-level system components, and controlling the device I/O operations. Examples, for example, the graphics drivers, the network drivers, storage drivers, sound drivers, and so on. These are all some of the examples of the kernel mode drivers. User mode drivers operate within the user space. So as you can see in the figure, we have user space and the kernel mode. So user mode drivers basically operate within the user space. So they have less privilege environment, and because of that, they restrict access to the system resources. So they basically handle interactions with specific hardware such devices for providing some user-friendly interfaces for the application to communicate with the hardware. So for example, the printer driver, the USB driver, and the scanner, and so on. These are some of the examples of the user mode drivers. Plug and play features are the key. So plug and play enables the operating system to automatically detect and identify the newly connected hardware devices, eliminating the need for manual configuration. So plug and play dynamically load the appropriate device drivers from when a device is connected, ensuring that the system is prepared to interact with the hardware. So when a device is disconnected, these plug and play feature will automatically unload the associated device driver. So it allows freeing the system resources. So device drivers also ensures that the drivers has been verified and digitally signed by some trusted authorities such as the operating system vendor. Sometimes if we install a malicious driver, so it might create a lot of issues in our computer system. So malicious driver prevention is a process that these device drivers adopt, which will help prevent installation of malicious driver that could compromise the system security or the stability. Compatibility assurance is the key. So driver certification guarantees that the driver that has been tested and approved by the operating system vendor ensures the compatibility and proper functioning of the driver. So Microsoft Windows Hardware Quality Lab, WHQL, certification program is a well-known examples of driver certification, requiring drivers to meet the specific quality standards. So as we have discussed earlier, it is so crucial for us to update our operating system. So in the same way, it is very important for us to have our drivers also up to date. So keeping drivers up to date is a crucial for system stability and security. So security patches, so drivers update often include security patches that address vulnerabilities that could be exploited by malicious actors. Bug fix, so when we update some drivers, so update resolves known bugs or issues that can cause system instable or crashes. Also enhance the functionality, so drivers update can sometimes introduce new features or improve the existing functionality of the devices. Compatibility improvement, updates may enhance the compatibility with the new hardware or software application. So how we are going to manage these device drivers? So most of the operating system provides you certain tools known as device drivers. So these tools are mainly user-friendly graphical interface which helps users to view, install, and update, or as well as disable the or uninstall the drivers for their hardware devices. So um, most of the well-known operating systems like Mac OS, Linux, etc. So they provide the system tool like device drivers and managers, which basically helps us to manage our devices and device drivers. So the best practices to maintain optimal performance and security, it is important to regularly update the device driver. As we have discussed earlier, update helps ensure hardware runs efficiently and it is protected against any vulnerabilities. So it's so crucial to download the drivers only from the trusted source, such as official manufacturer's website or through the operating system updates. Now, before we update, it is also wise to back up our existing drivers, because sometimes when we update the device drivers, we found that there are some compatibility issues arises. So we can easily restore the previous version in case if there is any issues or some harm happen while you update your device drivers. Now we move to our next topic, um, the role of antivirus. So antiviruses, as we have discussed earlier, these are specialized programs designed to detect, prevent, and remove malicious softwares such as malware, viruses, worm, etc. within our computer system. So these programs plays a crucial role in safeguarding the computer systems and networks from wide range of security threats. So regular use and update of antivirus program contributes significantly to maintain a secure computing environment. So let's discuss some types of malware. So virus, as you have heard this term a lot. So virus basically, it's basically a program, right? So virus has it's a program that has the ability to replicate themselves and spread to the computer systems or to the networks. So they often attach to legitimate files such as documents or some executable files, and they are executed when the files is open. So virus can cause various types of damages, which includes deleting the files, corrupting the data, and slowing down the computer system's performance. Trojan is another kind of malware, which often uh, disguised as legitimate applications or files to trick the users into downloading and installing them. So once installed, the trons can perform malicious action without users' knowledge, such as stealing the data, installing other malware, or controlling the systems. So some trons provides remote access also to the infected system. So it will allow the attackers to control and exploit the vulnerabilities. So ransomware is another type of malware, uh, which basically encrypts the files, or it infects the system, making them inaccessible to the user. So attacker basically demands a ransom payment, often in the cryptocurrency. So this is the main basically idea behind generating such type of malware. So the attacker demand a ransom, a payment, often in cryptocurrency, and in exchange for a decryption key. So if the ransom is not paid, the encrypted files may be permanently lost. There are some other additional types of malware like worms, spyware, adware, and rootkits. So this completes our session, and we will continue discussing our current topic in the next session. Thank you very much.